evening. Welcome to the regular council meeting for the town of Cobalt on May 27th, 2025. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Okay, none. Okay. No public meetings, number 3. Number 4, deputations. Roxanne St. Germain, who's our animal control officer, is coming to talk to us. She's been looking through our animal control bylaw in depth as well to see what she thinks and changes and everything. So she's going to present what she does, because some of you probably have never met her before, and what she does, how she tries to do it, expectations and limitations and everything else. So come on up, Roxanne.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So for everybody's knowledge, my background, that got me this job. And when I had the Temiskaming Shores one before they took back in-house, I started off in heavy duty rescue in 2009 when I worked for a big construction company and there was mom and kittens in the backyard. And I was horrified to find out, because I had drank the Kool-Aid for years, about all the rescues and humane societies and everything, how they held animals when really they're killing them. And I couldn't get help for this cat anywhere, because everywhere I phoned said, well, bring it in and we'll kill it for you. And I'm going, oh, no, that's not what I'm looking for. So I started to look for help and came across an ad for the Toronto Feral Cat Project, who was looking for directors for their board. And they were part of the coalition of 11 different organizations for the city of Toronto, working to deal with the cat overpopulation in that city, which they said was about 150,000, but after 6 years on the ground, I'll tell you, it's more like about 1 million, and that's probably low. And so what my role was, as being part of the coalition as well, was to help provide the education for the people that were taking care of colonies out in the community. And if they took the course, it was a Saturday course, and we taught them how to properly take care of stray cats and feral cats. Back then, we were just calling them feral cats, but as I've learned over the years, the majority of them are just traumatized cats that were previously owned that people think are feral. So most cats on the street are totally savable. They can be the biggest sucks you ever had. But anyway, getting back to what was going on. So if you took the course, you got a certificate, and that certificate allowed you to participate in Toronto Animal Services, Toronto Free Cats, and the Toronto Humane Society free clinics to get the cats on the street spayed, neutered, and vaccinated. And we used to do tons of them. And as time went on, we found out that one of the barriers down in the city was there was nowhere to. Part of doing that was you had to, of course, catch the cat, had to have somewhere to keep the cat for a day or two till you get to the clinic, because you start trapping 3 or 4 days before a clinic, because cats are darn smart and hard to get. And then it went to the clinic and came back from the clinic, and then you had to recover it for at least 2 or 3 days before you turned it back out. And a lot of people lived in apartments, city, we're talking the city of Toronto, right? So not everybody lived like we do here in houses and lots of space. And most people in Toronto don't have cars. They don't. So they've got all these cats in traps. How are they getting them to the clinic? So we developed a first in the world that we knew of, Toronto Feral Cat Clinic. Toronto Feral Cat Recovery Center, which I was mostly the one that I didn't get the actual building from the city of Toronto. I worked with a coalition to get that, but I pretty much took an empty shell about bigger than this area and industrial site, and we turned it into a feral cat recovery center. And we were doing about 1,500 cats a year coming through there with volunteers, and we would be nothing for us to have 80 to 100 cats going down to surgery at a given time, about every second week. And yeah, so that's what my experience was. So I'm boots on the ground. I know the problems. I was involved with the vets that wrote the shelter medicine manual. I was involved with the OSPCA, all kinds of big organizations that all are still there. And so that gave me a lot of knowledge to be able to, from animal handling to everything but animal control, but I dealt with animal control a lot in my role as trying to help the cats that were on the street causing the issues in communities. So same issues we're having down the road from you.
Mhm.
Yep, they're digging in my garden. They're peeing on my wall. I don't like it. They're scratching at my door because they want my girl cat to come out. So, you know, things like that. So a lot of, it's much easier to manage cats than it is to manage dog problems. And I would say the majority of dog problems that we have in Cobalt are barking. That's about the toughest one to stop because dogs like to bark, and people, you know, what annoys you, you might not care about, right? So, you know, dog barking for me for about 5 minutes or so, and if it's interrupting me, I might not be happy. But some people, they've tuned it out. They don't even know it's barking. So it's all people and what they like and don't like, and what annoys them, what doesn't. And but getting those dogs to get on board and stop barking is really hard. So that's a real struggle in this town with particular locations. Sometimes they'll be good for a while, then they'll surface again. Other times not so good. And the other issue is we have two other issues. One is specific dogs that are perpetual problems from specific houses, whether escaping or whatever, and often really hard owners to deal with if you can even get a hold of them to deal with them. And the other thing is the couch surfers. Like the people don't really have a place they are permanently living in, and they travel from place to place to place that have dogs that most of the time the dogs aren't causing trouble. It's the people being abusive to the dogs that are upsetting people, but they're hard to track down because they don't know the guy's name. The dog was brown. I saw it on Main Street. We kicked it. Things like that. So those are the three main things that I find upset the people in Cobalt, other than the odd cat. Well, not too many cats out anymore. We're taking care of a lot of them, but there is the odd one that is owned or not owned that causes that have gardens or things like that, which we generally can get on top of the cats pretty quickly. But it's the ongoing issues, and as you guys redo the bylaws, I'm not sure that there's much we can do to affect the barking problem, which seems to be the biggest problem that we have. We ticket and stuff like that, but I don't find that is really a problem solver, because lots of the people they don't really own the house. They're maybe not there forever, but they don't really care about paying the ticket. They don't pay it. What are you going to do? I can't take the dog away, right? So it's a difficult one. So if you guys can come up with any creative ideas on that, throw it on the table. But other than that, now what I do as well, I run a shelter, shelter/pound. It's the pound as well. It's in Haileybury right now, and we usually have a lot of cats. Dogs that I get, I try and get them right into foster because they're not very happy in shelters. And in the shelter, they're a lot of work. In a foster home, they're not so much work. And they don't cause so many problems either. They're not so stressed out, not being locked up. And I've spent a lot of time driving animals down to Kitchener. I do that at least generally once a month for about 8 months of the year, maybe once in the winter. Sometimes I do two appointments in a month, depending on how many people I have on my list. And I fix dogs and cats and owned pets. I'm the only person right now that's doing any owned animals down at Kitchener. And so I drive down, I leave at 8 in the morning, I get there at 5, drop the cats off, drop the dogs off, hop, skip, and jump across Toronto, dropping cats off in foster homes all over the place. I get to Ajax about 10. I leave the next day about 1. I just go visit my grandkids, 1 down. About 1, I go back, pick up the cats and dogs and everybody. If I'm lucky, I'm on the road by 6. And I get back to the shelter about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning and distribute everybody. Some of them I distribute on the way in or on the way out. If, you know, because some of the people in Cobalt stuff don't have cars. If I can, I'll save them the hassle of trying to get to and we get them fixed, and it's probably one of the most important things that we do, because that's why there isn't a lot of cats running around the streets here. It's why there's not a lot of dogs, loose stray dogs, or just too many dogs. And that's pretty much it. Like I've affected a lot of communities, not just Cobalt. So that's the most important thing I think I do, besides animal control, and because it keeps the numbers down, and it keeps dogs with better temperaments. It saves a lot of dogs from being born, and so, and I'm the one responsible for the spay neuter clinic at the Timiskaming Pound right now. It took me 2 years to get that up here, and I am presently working on opening a spay neuter clinic. We have a building in mind that we're putting an offer in on, and we will be doing a massive amount of fundraising, because we need that spay neuter clinic really badly, and we'll move the shelter in there, and the building has lots of opportunity for it to generate money and be able to carry itself, so that we don't have to be fundraising like crazy all the time trying to keep the roof over our head. So right now, thankfully, the Cobalt contract is what pays the rent for the shelter. I don't actually make that money. It goes to cat litter and the rent. So we're lucky enough to have some support from a local group that gave us a building to rent at very reasonable cost. So thankfully for that, and I've had great support from Cobalt. So we appreciate that, because it's a tough job, and you know, it's an endless job. I get calls all time of the day, all time of the night, and I generally answer them. I can't always fix it that time, but I do answer it. Angie called me on Sunday over the issue of the dogs on Dunning, and I got the, long story short, better to go there with the police, so I just had the police go. So they went over and had a chat. And yeah, and I am trying to get them to send me information on the dogs, so I can get them moved into other rescues outside of the area. So, and they're not bad dogs, they're just untrained dogs, right? They're not bad. So, does anybody have any questions about what I do, or?
None about what you do, but I do have one question.
Okay.
Have you been able to locate the big white dog?
The big white dog, we know.
Right in Prospect.
We know where she is. We don't know where she lives outside of where she's seen.
She's in behind Mike Harrison's house.
Yeah, we've looked all back in there.
Yeah.
Can't find her. She is not trappable.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She looks really nice.
She is not a trappable dog. We are currently, we have a fence line within a fenced yard, and we're moving the food in further and further and further and further. And when we can get her down far enough, we'll get her comfortable, and then
I don't want to see her hurt.
No, we're not going to hurt her. We'll set up the gate so that we can shut it behind her. The fence is quite high. So I'm hoping to God she can just barrel through somewhere. It's a pretty strong fence. And she's not a bad dog, but she is a terrified of people dog.
She's afraid. I've called her many times. She's gone by the house.
Yeah,
I've
come through town on any of my spay neuter runs and ran into her. And as soon as I slow my vehicle down, she's fast. She is gone. There's no way I'm catching her. So we are working on her. I do have a dog trainer. Hopefully he's still on board up in out of town, who is willing to take her in and work with her, so that we can try and get her over her absolute fear of people, and get her so that she's a little more social to be adopted. So we are working on that problem, because I know she barks at night.
Yeah.
And stuff.
She does every night there. She howls at the moon right on my street there, on the corner. My wife looks up. She goes, "Oh, there's that dog again." I go, "Okay, go back to sleep. She'll be done."
Yeah, she originally came from a really horrific animal cruelty site that there was supposed to be 7 dogs there, but we never found her. So, we don't know whether she's howling for her buddies, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
But she is a gentle soul.
She's
She's
not
just
hurting that.
absolutely terrified. So we are continuing to work on her. If I could pull her, net her, grab her, I would, but you can't get within 30,
No,
40
I
feet
know.
of that dog, maybe even further than that. There's nothing. And we tried to trap her before. Because of all the animals that were dead in cages at that site, she won't even go near a cage. She won't go near a
I
cage.
keep trying to get her in because I just put down my dog.
Yep.
I had to put him to sleep and I keep trying to get her closer,
If
closer.
you could get her into a yard. and
I got it
then-
gated.
Then we can, then we can, if we can get her in there, we can chase her down, or try and catch, try and get her to, I don't want to traumatize her, but, we could at least have her in a secured spot where we would have a chance to get her. But out on the street,
We'll have to help her out.
out on the street, there's
No, on the street,
nothing
she's
we
on her
can do. Oh, no. But anyway, I don't want to take up your whole meeting,
Yeah,
but, so we are working on that.
yep, no problem.
And if you are in the market for another dog.
Oh,
I
not
got
right now.
Yeah.
Still in there, so.
Yeah.
I don't want another dog right now.
Now, one of the other things that we also do is, I haven't done one recently because I have nowhere to really put it right now, but I bring food up from Toronto, from different, donation things, and, I'm probably at about $300,000 worth of food I've been able to bring up to the community, and I usually am able to distribute it between Kirkland Lake and all the way to North Bay. Like, I got 36 skids come in one time, and we stuffed it into every possible nook and cranny we could, and then I called one of my contacts in North Bay and said, hey, I got 12 skids of food, and they paid the freight to North Bay, and they distributed it to churches, food banks, rescues, a whole bunch of stuff. So I try and do that, and with the new building, I'll be able to bring in like a truckload and distribute from there, so the food banks won't be, as much as they need it, they don't have the storage space for it. So, and you don't have a food bank right now at all, so I used to give a lot to you guys too. So, hopefully I'll be able to, once a week or once a month or whatever that works for the food banks, they can come and grab and replenish their stock, and people call me for food, and I share them with what I have already, like Jody Wink and a few other people, like a permanent list that they need food. I have a person I drop a whole bunch of bags off to in New Liskeard that a few of the low income people and seniors there, she keeps supplies. So we help with that, because the idea is to keep the pets in the homes, right? And for a lot of people, that's so it's the only real pet, it's the only real family that I have. Some people's the only friend they have, right? And that's really important. And that's one of the reasons why I want to get this low-cost spay neuter clinic and vet care coming, because there's been some awful stories of people with their animals. One of the was from Cobalt here a couple of years ago. It was really bad. I phoned every vet I knew begging for help, and I couldn't get any. And that dog did not die well, and that was very upsetting. And we need to get that here. We need to be able to get to be able to euthanize something for $100, not $800. Like,
My
we
dog.
need to be able- I know it's going nuts. Anyway, so there's a lot of things we need to do, and we remain no-kill. I am a no-kill facility, and I would plan on remaining that. So we'll be getting, hopefully, this building. We'll be doing a lot of fundraisers. We are capable of giving charitable tax receipts. So if you know anybody that is interested in supporting and Cobalt Animal Services, they can just give me a call. And always willing to listen to anybody that's got some ideas or some suggestions for improvement or whatever. Just give me a call. Steve and Pat both have my number. Pat and I have been working on the cats in this town for
a long time.
She has a little cat that Don Cherry helped out. Well, he's the one that's missing.
Yes.
So, Don Cherry's organization helped pay for his bills. I'm connected to them.
That's where the extra
A
came in.
lot of places, so. All right. Any questions, any other questions, or, no, good? Oh, yes.
Just wondering if it would help if we helped you somehow intensify education and some kind of a value system being put out to the public. I don't like sticks, I like carrots, and I like training people.
Well, I think that one of the things that would help a lot is to maybe start using Facebook, the town Facebook page a little bit more to educate people about like pick a bylaw. You know, like one of the things I put in the notes to you guys is there's a real disconnect with the actual bylaw and what people think the bylaw is, because of course people don't check, that they really believe that there is a time limit on when you can make noise, like from 7 in the morning till 11 at night, you can make noise, right? But that's not what your bylaw reads. It doesn't read that for barking and animal noise, and it doesn't really read that, I don't believe I checked it, for any noise, right? You have a do not make noise that disturbs your neighbor bylaw, and that doesn't matter whether it's noon or whether it's midnight, right?
That's right.
Where some communities, and especially down south, so they might be bringing that with them. There's a lot of communities like Oshawa that used to have, that they may have changed now, but they used to have bylaws that dealt with shift workers, right? So there was like, a lot of towns had no noise after 11 or no noise before 7 in the morning. But Oshawa was one of the ones that had no noise like you guys because it was a shift working town, right? People slept during the days, people slept in the afternoon. So I think there's a lot of that confusion. So we could like say, hey, did you know that dogs or whatever, can't be allowed to bark for more than, maybe just some little education things we could, going on the radio or anything like that is so expensive. But there might be some things like that we could do, maybe some, is that the type of idea that you have? Like I also do a lot of, not really consultation, but if somebody's got a problem with their dog or their cat or whatever, like we'll talk about strategies to stop the behavior. Like if you've got a dog that's, I don't know, being destructive in the neighborhood or something like that, well, we'll come up with some ideas on ways to kind of like redirect those problems, right? So I do that. Like I do talk, and animals that they're, thinking about getting rid of because of this problem or that problem. We work on fixing the problem so that the animal gets to stay in their home. And often the people don't really want to get rid of them. Again, it might be the only pet they have, but they don't know what to do. So I do that. So what other kind of like education did you have in mind?
You're pretty much hitting all of the points that I was thinking of.
Okay, yeah.
It's probably more just a question of getting set pieces that we could.
Yeah, I think if we could,
That's a good idea.
something where we're having problems with like barking and loose dogs, just, and kind of, sometimes you can spin it in ways that it's more about, hey, when your dog's loose, this could happen. You can get hit by a car. Like instead of making it like, you're not allowed to have your dog loose, maybe start doing things, come at them on the thing that, your dog could get really hurt, or, there's different diseases out there he could catch because he's roaming off your property and, he's at risk. And, you can have a vet bills, you can have things like that. Maybe, there's different ways to skin the cat, you know what I mean? So,
Just might
Okay,
make
make a
somebody who
list.
likes better.
yeah, so,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, so anyway.
make a list and start to put it together. There's a job for you.
Oh, thank you, no.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, so, okay,
Okay.
all right, and
Thank you.
Stephen's gonna call me with any questions you guys have about my notes, because I didn't know if we were gonna be speaking about them or not, so I could explain them better, but no problem there, and, yeah, I think it's a good thing that you're updating them. There's not a lot of problems with them, but there's some things that would be nice to work with, and, yeah.
Mhm. Thank you very, very much, and for all you
And I
do.
appreciate all of your support, I really do. It is.
You're doing a great
I've
job.
always had great support from you guys, and it makes the job a lot better. All right?
Okay.
Thank you. If you need anything from me, let me know, and Steve will be in touch, and Pat will be by to pick up my crap from you.
Yeah, it's in the shed,
It's in the shed.
right near the front, left-hand side. Shed's always unlocked, so, yeah,
Thank you, everyone. Okay, keep me on the loop about Blackie.
yeah, I will, for
All
sure.
right. Thanks,
Take care.
everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, that was great. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to adoption of meeting agenda number 5. Draft motion, be it resolved that council approve the agenda of the regular meeting dated May 27th, 2025 as presented. Mover and seconder. Okay, Councillor Leclerc and Councillor Hughes. And I have an amendment to it. Since the mayor is under the weather a bit, the mayor's report will be, which is number 13, will be deferred to the next meeting. She had three things later on. So. Okay, any other changes? Okay, vote. All in favor? Okay, carried. Okay, adoption of previous minutes. Draft motion be it resolved that council approve the following minutes as presented. Regular meeting of council, April 29th, 2025, and the special meeting of council, May 6th, 2025. Mover, Leclerc, and Starchuk. And all in favor? Or any discussion on it, sorry? No discussion? Okay, all in favor? Good. Okay, staff reports, and we've got lots of good staff reports to look at, so be it resolved that council accept the staff reports as presented, so we need mover and seconder. Should we go the other way around?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, first one is Cobalt Public Library minutes that you can read through yourselves, I'm sure. Don't think they said anything about the seed project. That's the only thing I would add from, I think they're collecting seeds and using it as a bit of a fundraiser.
What's that, library?
Yeah, library, yeah.
No fundraiser, it's all free.
All free, okay.
They have lots of seeds set out, little packages, so you can just show up and grab a seed. The idea is that when you
Come
harvest,
in and get,
you're supposed to bring some seeds back.
yeah, that's the way it goes, okay.
What kind of seeds?
Yeah. Any,
Just random stuff, different, some
Random
flowers, some vegetables, different things, yeah, a little bit of everything. I'm not even sure what they have. They have quite a few.
I end up with a half the yard blue with forget-me-nots.
They're nice.
So when it comes time, when they start to go to seed, I'm just taking a plastic bag, bang, 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 and collect them a whole pile. Because mine have spread, my initial ones I got from Alzheimer's Society years ago, have now spread all the way down to his backyard, all the way down. Yes, they're all over it, yeah. Okay, so, staff report for the truck bus.
Yes, Your Worship.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, we were unable to get the 2017 truck with the MT7, but myself, staff and public works put together, and we came across one down in Southern Ontario, a 2015 trackless, an MT5. It's going for $40,000, $5,000 less than the MT7. So just wanted council's approval later on here to move forward with it. The hours are actually identical, maybe 1 or 2 hours different than what the other one was, but this is actually comes with a larger sander in the back. Not as many attachments as the other one had, but still this one here would be great. So again, a new 2025 trackless would cost the municipality $176,000. A converted trackless would cost $152,000, and this one here is $40,000. So be the $40,000 plus shipping, and already looking into that as well. Just
he did say the park clinic was,
yeah.
why it was going down, so he was gonna take a good look at it too. So. Yes, Councilor?
I actually saw the old trackless working today. Went by my house And the brush is like brand new still.
Yes, it's interchangeable.
And yeah, it's still blue.
It would be
In
able
color.
to.
So I mean, it hasn't been worn that much, so we're good with that as far as that goes. We didn't really need another brush or that. So, yeah, no, I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
And it's got a blue light.
And the user fee amendments.
Can I speak on that, Your
Oh,
Worship?
yes.
Okay, for our last meeting, our special meeting of council on May 6th, we would be doing as what council agreed to was water operating increase of 10% to residential, multi-residential, and 7% to commercial and institutional. This would increase provide $35,333 in additional revenue to offset the costs. The recycle bin with the user fees, because Circular Materials as of April 1st has taken over. So town is no longer responsible for supplying the recycle bins. Yes.
How much would replacement cycle bids go for under their program?
I would have to double check with the recycle, because it's going to be dealing directly with Pippin, is Circular Materials. They've taken the equation out of the municipality. So they were just fine tuning a number of things, and I can get costs out to council and to the public on it.
Yeah.
Have we tried talking to Aqua about our water use and ways to reduce costs? Because I know like a lot of these costs are the chemicals that we put in to the water for the water processing. And I'm not sure how our use compares to other communities. If maybe in the summer, like just asking people to reduce, or if your house is even, you can water your garden today, and if it's odd, you can water it tomorrow. So I think if a reduction would actually help reduce costs, or if we're already, because I know a few winters ago, there was somebody who chose to leave water on in front of his house and had this big ice statue with water from water that was constantly on. And I haven't seen that recently, but are there people who are wasting water since it's not metered that we could try to recover funds from by better?
The largest amount of water is from the water breaks itself, and trying to find them and repair them. And I do know they have noticed flows once we repaired one of the major mains. An example was the one that was out by the right on Lang Street there. They've noticed a reduction right away once it was repaired. And until we get it, that is where it's losing the most. And our guys are out and about nonstop. But I could have these discussions with Aqua as well. I do meet with them quite often.
Okay, if they have ideas,
Yeah.
because that's another savings without taxation, right, to help,
Because with the water main breaks, we're losing treated water.
right?
So that's a huge cost.
Yeah.
And aging infrastructure is what we have.
Mhm. Yeah. And we can't replace it all at once.
Another
Yeah.
thing here with the continuing with the fees is OPP,
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
increasing at $60
Mhm.
from $625 to $685. And for the fire permit fee, this is just an administration terminology, more or less, is to, like when bylaw 2011 and 20 was repealed and replaced by bylaw 2021 15, the fee section indicated the fee would be identified in the user fee bylaw, but it was never updated to include the permit fee. So there is no financial
No.
change at all.
Just-
It's technicality.
Mhm.
So,
Okay, and the last one, the encroachment agreement.
can you speak on that also, Your Worship?
Yep.
Okay, property upon Jameson where the town owns a section, there's an encroachment on it with a patio, sun deck. Anyways, this is to have an agreement, so in case we ever need to get on that property, because there is a main that comes down from upper, from the public school area, coming down across that property into ours, and then continues down going towards the arena, old arena. Well, if our guys need to get on there, this encroachment will allow us to get on there ASAP onto our own property and have to remove what's required. And this would go from title to title. So as a house is sold, the new owner would know there's an existing encroachment on this. So it's a $50 fee on here. So just legalities. So
Mhm.
as with new homes or any home being sold right now, all this information has to be brought forward.
Are there any questions on any of these? Okay, all in favor of accepting the reports, staff reports? Carried. Now, items for council consideration, number 6. Number 8, sorry, now I got my glasses on. 8.1, automated external defibrillator, AED purchase for 24 Prospect Ave, which is the doctor's office and the drugstore. Draft motion, whereas the corporation of the town of Cobalt has received a request from the Temagami Family Medical Health Team requesting the purchase of an automated external defibrillator, AED, for the medical clinic and pharmacy located at 24 Prospect Ave. And whereas once purchased and installed, the Temagami Family Health Team will coordinate and cover the cost of training on the equipment. And whereas council has received 3 quotes for the purchase of an AED, therefore be it resolved that council approve the purchase of an AED for 24 Prospect Ave from Beaton First Aid at a cost of $2,963.14, including the HST. And further, that the town of Cobalt will be responsible for 60% of the purchase price, and the Temagami Family Health Team will be responsible for 40% of the purchase price and the cost of training on the equipment. So I'd like a mover and a seconder. Okay. Councillor Hunter. Where am I putting it? Oh, here. Try a pen that works. And who was next? LaFleur? Okay. Any discussion on this? I was quite frankly shocked that there wasn't one there. You know, we've got them other places in town, and I went, what?
Where else do we have one? We have one here.
We have one here. We've got one at the Golden Age Club. I believe the library has one.
I remember seeing one there. I don't think so. We don't advertise it if we do.
I thought one had been put there years ago when we first got them.
This one here should maybe be relocated, as mentioned to Steve, maybe down to the town office, since the town office is open a lot more than this is up here.
Mhm. Yeah,
That might be an idea, yeah.
and check to see if the pads are still good. Pads, for their stickiness only have, you know, it's 2 or 3 or 4 year lifetime, but we discovered when we were doing a retraining down at the Golden Age Club that we needed new pads, and got them for there, so. Yes, they are.
Maybe Beaton can throw in some new pads for us if we buy this.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay, all in favor on the purchase? Okay. And now we go to 8.2, purchase of the 2015 track list from staff report 2025.05, 2027.01. Draft motion, whereas at the April 29th, 2025 regular meeting of council, the council approved purchase of a 2017 trackless MTZ in the amount of approximately $50,000, including taxes, license, and delivery. And whereas the 2017 trackless MTZ is no longer available, and whereas council has received staff report 2025-05-2701, which provides details on a 2015 trackless MT5 for sale in the amount of approximately $45,000, including taxes, license, and delivery. Therefore, be it resolved that council approve the purchase of the 2015 trackless MT5 in the amount of $45,000, including taxes, license, and delivery. Mover and seconder? Oh, sorry. Wilcox. I gotta look your direction. And Counselor Hunter. Okay, any discussion on this? Yeah.
So I guess we lost the last one because we're slow in making decisions.
As they couldn't hold it for us, and by the time council approval to get it for that price, it was going quickly, and I've already talked to these individuals.
Are they holding it?
Just give me a bit of time until I get it in front of council and for approval, and
Because I'm wondering if we could just approve a budget like we did with the fire truck before and just say, find one and buy it. Like, stop waiting for us. Like, if we trust you to make the right
I just
decision.
wanted council to be aware exactly in case they noticed something that was different coming out there, so bring it forward.
Mhm.
You'd mentioned in your discussion previously that the person going to pick it up was going to give it a once-over before
Yes.
having looks. I'm wondering if we shouldn't have something that would say, subject to his approval, when he looks at it.
The place selling this is actually Maytech is the company that's selling it. They are a hydraulic, they work on these, that as well. So, no, I see. Putting in that word too.
They could pretty much put a guarantee on it.
Mhm.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Let me speak with the vendor on that and to see if there's like a warranty or something there and subject.
Mhm.
Yeah, if we have a mechanic going down,
Yeah,
who can check it out?
yeah, prior of any approval,
To me,
definitely.
that would be the significant
Yeah.
incident, it's just,
Yeah, that's what we have is someone going down to do an inspection a week prior or prior before we do
Mhm.
get it shipped up here.
At least we gotta be able to let them know we're gonna buy it. So,
The interest is there, everything's there as long as it passes
mhm.
safety.
So-
Warranty going down.
Very soon, yeah.
All in favor? Purchase? Right. Where am I at? On to 9, items for council consideration, council information, draft motion. Be it resolved, the council accept the items for council information as presented. Mover and seconder? Councilor Fleur? Anyone else?
Thanks, Andrew.
Councilor Hunter? No, it's exercise.
Wasn't all alone.
Yeah. Okay, first report is from Aqua. And do you have anything to add on that?
Just their quarterly summary of water and wastewater systems.
Okay. And there's lots of happy reading in there for anyone that wants to read it through. What I always like to read is there's not that many call outs for breakdowns over there. And that the ministry is very happy and all the reports and everything go in on time. So we're keeping the ministry very happy. Second one is Northeastern Public Health Minutes. And this is from our newly combined Timmins and Temiskaming health units. Just that you can read through and see. And next one is the Cobalt Historical Society. The minutes for the regular board meeting and their minutes for the AGM. that we just recently had. And number 4, Temiskaming Municipal Services Association. Regional Bylaw Enforcement Officer Trial. Yes, sir.
Can I speak on this one here?
You may.
This year, even though it says a request for council consideration, TMSA does not get an answer until June 30th. So I wanted council to get this as soon as possible. I just received it there last week. Look it over and any concerns to let the municipality know and to bring forward to our next meeting. What it is they're looking at having a bylaw officer for the TMSA region. That's us and other municipalities. Currently, our bylaw officer here is Pete Gilbo. He would be going into this role, and Pete will be retiring too very soon. And an individual, former police officer, David Bishop, would be taking over that role. So right now, they just wanted to get a feel for what municipalities would be interested in this, as well as how to bring it over, because they want to put it under just the TMSA umbrella, but not a formal employee as we do with the building inspector and the planner. So this is kind of a feeling out process, and in the documentation here, it states how much it would cost for this, and this is just like a retainer. And for a year retainer for the town of Cobalt with this, if Cobalt wants to go with this agreement, is $3,639.68. And then it'd be charged per call on that. So this is your retainer. What we're paying now per month is $2,000 a month. So you can see large savings if we go into this, if we go down this road. Some of the concerns are like enforcing here, because right now we were the first municipality for our current bylaw officer, Pete Gilbo. So this has always been his number one to come and take care of it. But he still does other municipalities, like going Martyr Lake, all around the region right now. So he's currently actually doing most of these other municipalities as we speak. So this is just something I want council just to review, think about it. Any questions, send it to the office over the next month. And we're going to bring it forward for council consideration at our meeting at the end of June, or end June 24th, I believe it is.
So this contribution is like the base amount plus per call out.
Yeah.
Just because $36,000 is a very low sum of money to be paying someone, so. Well, 36,000 is the total.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this
Exactly.
person isn't working, like earning full-time wages for this amount, so they're expecting with the call outs for it to obviously go a lot more, and I guess we would have to budget.
Like currently for this year, for the remainder of this year, we are budgeted for what our current rates are.
Right.
And what it would be. This would be definitely a cost savings.
Well,
Even if we get a lot of calls, just say if we get even the call amount we get now, it would still be a lot less than paying minimum $24,000
Plus
a year.
mileage.
Yeah, plus mileage. And
What is the call gonna be? Do you know?
cost per call, or is it based on an hour? Because some calls might take 3 hours
Yeah.
to resolve, right? So,
Yeah, that would be some of the questions I can ask to bring
Yeah.
forward to the next meeting.
okay.
Yeah, this is just floating the plan out here to see if we're interested in giving it a try.
Right.
Definitely interested in saving money.
So make sure you keep that on top of your pile for next time to,
Yeah.
and think about.
Again, any questions, if you want to relay to TMSA, send me an email and bring it forward.
Okay. So now we're back to all in favor of accepting the items that were presented? Thank you. Carrie? Now on to the bylaws and agreements. Number 10.1, bylaw number 2025-15, tax ratios for 2025. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-15 being a bylaw to establish tax ratios for 2025. Taken as read a first, second, and third time this 27th day of May, 2025. And further, that the bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. Could I have a mover and a secondary? Start Chuck. Okay. Any further questions on it? I think we've seen that paperwork. Okay, all in favor? And then bylaw number 2025-16, tax rates for 2025. Draft motion, whereas at the special meeting of council on May 6, 2025, the 2025 budget was approved for the amount of $3,673,539.79, which includes a capital budget of $360,442.91 and an operating budget of $3,313,096.87, and which requires a levy for municipal purposes in the amount of $874,788. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-16, being a bylaw to provide for the adoption of the 2025 tax rate for municipal and school purposes, and to further provide penalty and interest for payments in default, be taken as read at a first, second, and third time this 27th day of May 25. A mover and second? Wilcox and Fuller? Pardon? Oh, the last line, and further that the said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. Thank you. And Wilcox, yes. Okay, any discussion on it? No, we all take a gulp and pay our taxes. You have the vote. All in favor? Okay, 10.3. Draft bylaw 2025-17. Amendment number 6 to user fee bylaw 2023-33. From staff report 2025-05-27. The draft motion, whereas council received staff report 2025-05-27, which detailed a cost recovery analysis on user fees with the following recommendations. 1, increase of 10% to water operating, residential and multi-residential. Increase of 7% to water operating for commercial and institutional. Amendment to recycling bin replacement cart as per circulars material. Number 4 is increase of $60 to the OPP. Number 5 is addition of fire permit fee, the transition of fee from open air burning bylaw to user fee bylaw. So there's no change in the cost for that. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that bylaw 2025-17, being a bylaw to adopt amendment number 6 to user fee bylaw 2023-33, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed on the 27th day of May 2025, and further that it said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. So movers and seconders? And any discussions? Are you ready for the vote?
For discussion.
Got a discussion, okay.
I just want to know, how much is it that we're paying for that they're paying now for the, for burning permit? How much is it? I don't know.
$20. If you wait to a certain date, $30.
30, yeah, May 16th to December 31st.
Down here,
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
if you get it early, you get it for $20.
Okay. Obviously, I'm late. Okay, fine, just like.
I misunderstood that. I thought it was $20 until May 15th, and then I had to apply again and pay another $30. Okay.
So it's one shot deal.
Okay.
So it's $30.
Wait till January.
Yeah, wait, January. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
I
so,
have a-
yeah.
Just a question on the commercial water rate 1 and 2. What exactly is rate 1 and rate 2? What's the significant difference in charge? So
Schedule A, there's a page that's Schedule A that explains it.
on the sheet here.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell me what it is though. on the other page.
Restaurant.
Residential?
There's two commercial rates, and so the next page breaks it down. What is rate one, what is rate two?
One or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? We'll take the vote, all in favor? Mr. Hughes? Thank you. Carried.
Just finished reading that.
Yep. Okay. You. 10.4, 10.3, draft bylaw 2025-18, encroachment agreement 2025-01 for 101 Jameson Street, and this is from staff report 2025-05-2703. So the draft motion, whereas the corporation of the town of Cobalt has received encroachment agreement applications 2025-01 submitted by Rachel Beach and Eric Devery. And whereas council received staff report 2025-05-2703 with a recommendation to adopt bylaw 2025-18. Now therefore be it resolved that bylaw 2025-18 be established to establish an encroachment agreement between Rachel Beach and Eric Gabery and the town of Cobalt for an encroachment onto the municipal property known as 70 Silver Street, to be read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed this 27th day of May 2025. And further, that the said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. The mover and seconder? Okay, Hughes and Starchuck. And any discussion on this? I think when I read it through, it sounded like a good balance there. So all in favor then? Carried. Okay. Now, on to number 11, unfinished business. Animal control bylaw review, the staff report, and the draft bylaw with amendments. It's over here. Where's the- Okay, yes, sir.
Speak on that?
Yeah.
Actually, back on April 9th, I met with Roxanne. We went over about our current bylaw as well as other municipalities. So went back and we changed some of our existing one because we do have a good one. It needs fine tuning pretty much. So in it, you will notice items that are in red scratched out. So those items would be removed and the green items that were put in here would be added. So the following amendments would be removal of general cleanup, removal of the gridlock look, update the look of the bylaw to coincide with newer bylaws, removal of all mentions of livestock, guardian dogs, and herding dogs. These are only valid in agricultural zones. The zoning bylaw does not provide for agricultural zone. Changing the number of animals per household to align with the city of Temiskaming Shores. Also provide a legacy provision to grandfather in households currently within the animal limits, but would be over the new limits. Some minor modifications, like I said, items in red to be removed, items in green to be added. And we would have a separate bylaw for exotic pets that would be presented to council separately. Roxanne, I did give her a copy of this changed bylaw with the alterations in it, and she has some feedback. I will be going over it and bringing it to council's attention as well. She sent it, and just to keep us all in the same loop, so we want to bring something forward to council next meeting. So if council would like to review this, if anyone has any questions, contact the municipal office between now and next meeting. And we'll bring it forward. And we'll answer your questions as well.
No, we won't be voting on it at this time. We're just, this is in progress, in work. We will get it there, so. Okay, over to number 12. Oh, new business, schedule of accounts. These, okay. 12.1, draft motion, be it resolved, the council receives the following schedules as presented. Schedule number 2025-08 in the amount of $222,498.95. And schedule number 2025-09 in the amount of $99,657.86. Mover and seconder? Councilor LaFleur. Councilor Hughes. Any questions on these? I must say I signed, this evening I signed a huge pile of checks. And I'm sure Mayor Radstead does that very regularly. Okay. Yeah. All in favor? Okay. Carried. And number 13, mayor's report has been deferred to next time. And number 14, we're going into closed meeting. So in doing this, let the public know that we won't, once we come back out of our closed meeting, then we won't be going back on again online for you. So thank you then for listening and watching this. I heard some people did today. Yeah. Okay. So draft motion. Be it resolved that council convene in closed session as per section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended in order to address a matter pertaining to subsection 2A, security of the property of the municipality or local board. 2B, personal matter about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. 2E, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. And 2I, a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board. So, mover and seconders, please. Sorry, Chuck. LaFleur. And all in favor? Okay. Carried. Since you just got coffee.